Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today we've got a brew day. Just started. I've got everything going on in the background behind me. Got my laptop there, got my ingredients there, hops, stuff, it's all there. You can see filming the actual what's going on with me, old phone, camera. Got the actual breweries in mash at the moment. So I've not done a video for a while for home brewing. What I'm going to be brewing today is an ESB. Love ESBs, but for some strange reason I don't brew them. This is the first time I've done an ESB. My ingredients are actually, well, not my ingredients, my recipe I built myself, and just call it Rob's ESB. This one may change the name, don't know. So I'm using heritage malts. I've got Plum Jarter in there. I've got some carapils, got some Caram Munich too, just to bring a little bit of that caramel character. I've got torrefied wheat, hopefully a little bit of head retention with that. I've got some chocolate malt, mainly for the colour, not really for the flavour. And I'm going to be using some of golden syrup as well. Golden syrup is used to just try and make it a little bit more, how do we say, it's not really going to add flavour, but it's going to add more drinkability. That's the idea. Maybe just to reduce that body so it's a bit of an easy drinker. I'm aiming for around 6%, between 5.5 and 6, depending on what my brew house efficiency ends up. And I'm going to go with dry yeast on this one. I'm using SO5. Normally I'd use like an English yeast, but I want to use the SO5. Just gonna bump the temperature of fermentation up to 20 and just see what it brings, see if it brings anything. Hops, Target, Bittering, and East Kent Goldings is going to be used for aroma and hopefully a little bit of flavour. So I'm going to crack on. I'll show you what I do with my laptop in regards to efficiencies and calculations throughout the brew day. So we'll jump to that, and then we'll jump to some brew day footage, and then we'll jump into the future and hopefully have me tasted it, and hopefully it's turned out, hopefully it's turned out okay. So we'll wait and see. Well, we'll have to wait. You won't have to wait that long. I'll have to wait about 5 weeks. Okay, cheers. I'll catch you in a minute. Okay, I'm not too sure how this is going to come across on camera, whether you can see it or not, but this is basically what I use. This is the Beersmith app, and this is obviously, there's the name, ESB. It is, my design is this one. So you can see all my recipe here that I put in. Gives you all the costs. So you can see the cost down here, estimate costs. Overall, see, ignore that one there, yeast £6. It's not £6. That's probably going to work out. It's probably going to work out about £1.50 for that yeast. I need to adjust that. So it's got costs in there. It's got the weights, it's got everything that I need. It's got my brewing salts in there. I've got a notification. It's dog drinks beer. So all grain, Rob's ESB. It's a 5 litre, 90-minute boil. My session data, which is my brewing data today. So I'm at the very beginning of the brew day. So I need to start putting these figures in. So I need to measure the pH. I put that in here. I'll measure the post-mash gravity. I'll measure the pre-boil gravity, the actual volumes of water. Well, it's going to be wort at that point. So the pre-boil volume. And then at the end, you measure your gravities, and it gives you brew house efficiencies, measured efficiencies, and then at the end of fermentation, when you're going to be bottling or kegging, again you put in volumes, your final gravities, and this is where you get your ABV calculations as well. So it's just a little bit of a background. You've got one there I can put notes in. Got the timer. Don't really use that timer, if I'm honest. I just use the timers on Alexa and like the oven. There's the mash steps, so I'm mashing it in a moment. It's telling me if my pH, they're saying it's going to be a target possibly adjusted mash pH of 5.5. If I add a little bit of something, I could bring that down. Water, this is how I get my calculations for the additions for the salts. So yeah, it's just really giving you a bit of an insight. If you can see here, there's my brew log recipes. See, there's dark mild, the mild Chester, dark Inception, Brave Noise, bitter end, porter. Neil loves a stout. There's the Fab Golden Ale on there. There's all sorts on there. I've got loads of recipes, but this is just that's my brew log. Okay, so I just wanted to give you really a quick look at a bit of the background stuff that I do as well to try and keep it as consistent as possible when I'm brewing. It's home brewing, it's a hobby, and yeah, it's fun. I'm brewing an ESB. First time I've done an ESB, which is strange because I really do like the style. So what I'm using here is a kilo of heritage malt plumage Archer, 200 grams of carapils, 100 grams of Caramunic Type 2, 50 grams of torrefied wheat, 30 grams of chocolate malt, and we're going to add 50 grams of golden syrup near the end of the boil. We've got 8 grams of Target hops to go in at 60, East Kent Goldings at 10, and then Flame Out at 0. And then we've got an addition of some Irish moss, and I'm going to be using some dried yeast on this one. Got my laptop there, ready to do all the, basically the brew house stuff, efficiencies, as I'm going along. So I'm going to crack on. So yeah, mashing in. We did the mill on the grains yesterday, so I'm stirring to avoid any dough balls, as they call it. So we don't want any dough balls. Get this in here, get it down to temp, and then 60 minutes of mashing. So now adding my addition of salt. Quite a big. What's a bit? Quite a big addition this time. Going for like the old historical Burton water. That's what I'm looking for, the profile. So hopefully it just brings out a bit more of that bitterness and hops, because they're not high alpha acid. So get that in, then I'll get myself a little sample to check the pH, see if I need to add anything to lower the pH. So yeah, get me a little jar, and I go down. Got one of these like jars, like a little ramekin. And all I do, take the bag away. I can get some of the liquid without the grain in, and I can measure that in about 15 minutes. But now what I'll do, temperature check again. Get to that 68, what I'm looking for. Try and get it up there, make sure it's on the rise. You see that's going up. There we go, 67. '69. Needs a little bit more of a stir. So I'll carry on, and then I'll get a lid on. You don't want to mash at 70 because you're going to lose some of that ABV. So I want it's got to be as close to 68, 69 as I can get it. So a bit more of a stir will help me reduce that temperature down. It's unbelievable how quick it will come down as well. Right, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to put the lid on and then put it to bed for an hour. Like I always do, some towels on top. Just helps really, because the lid isn't as insulated as the rest of the brew kettle is. or the mash tun, but basically mine's a brew in a bag, all in one. So it's a kettle, a bag in a kettle, insulated sides. Just need to insulate that top and try and keep that heating as consistent as possible over the next 60 minutes. There we go. I'll go and do my little jobs. Okay, so mash time is finished. So it's time to get on with getting the grains squeezed now. So what I do, I have a rack that I put it on and then squeeze it. Need to put a pair of gloves on, get as much of that sugary work out of them grains as possible. So that's what I'm going to do now. So there we go, starting to boil. So we're going to go 90 minutes for this brew. So 30 minutes, then add my first hop additions for the 60-minute mark. And then again, I think it's at 10 minutes and then 0. So I'll come back, 30 minutes, and I'll add my first hop addition. 60 minutes hit, and we're going to add 8 grams of target for the bittering. Okay, so now it's time to add in the Irish moss. Just helps drop the proteins out of the beer, making it a bit more clear, a clearer product at the end. Just helps drop proteins. Add that in 15 minutes before the end of the boil. Here we go now, 10 minutes to go. East Kent Goldings. Add a bit of, hopefully, a bit of floral and a bit of flavour to the beer. So now we've got the flame out, so basically I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to put these East Kent Goldings in and let it steep for about 30 minutes before we cool it down. Hello, well hopefully you enjoyed that bit of footage. So now it is I think it's the 8th of November and I'm getting the first chance to review this ESB. Now in October this was entered into a local homebrew comp and it got second, so I'm pleased with that. But this is the first time I've actually been able to sit down, taste it and review it. So let's get it cracked open. Came in at 6.2% for an ESB. Pleased with that. It was in a keg, and then what I did, I used my counter pressure bottle filler to fill some bottles. So hopefully, I mean, it's been a while since it's been in the bottle as well. It's been in the bottle since the 11th of October. So hopefully it's kept some carbonation in the bottle. There's it. Beer going into the glass. So it's not bottle conditioned. There you go. that's my ESB, and I'm chuffed with that. If you can see the colour, a little bit of chill haze on the glass. It's got a nice head, it's got a nice colour, exactly what I was looking for, if I'm honest, for an ESB. I can see that better myself here with the lighting, but it's not quite showing up on the camera. Nice and clear, looks the part. So just to run through that again, the ingredients. So what I used was Plumage Archer, so class that as a heritage malt, Carapils, Carib Munich, torrefied wheat, some chocolate malt, and some golden syrup. And the hops were Target for bittering and East Kent Goldings for flavour and aroma. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. Like I say, it came second. I used a SO5 yeast on this, so it wasn't a British ale yeast. The SO5 is just like a clean American yeast. So yeah, so it's not going to get any fruity esters from the yeast. Maybe I'll brew it again and use a British yeast. So let's get the aroma. You're getting them malts. Getting toffee aroma. Not much of the hop aroma, I'd say. Just more coming from like a brown bread, toffee, slightly caramel in the aroma, which is quite pleasant. Okay, let's go in for the taste. I'm going to try with my phone to try and show you the colour, because it looks a lot better for me than it does for you on that. So hopefully that's shown a bit better, showing that colour that I was going for on the glass there. So yeah, let's taste it. Let's get into it. I have to say, there's a slight hoppy bitterness going on there. It's not overly bitter at all. I'm getting the toffee again. That's and that malty breadiness. So I'm getting a lot of toffee, malty. I'm maybe picking up a bit on that golden syrup in there, possibly. What I'm getting. It's an easy drinker. It's about medium body. It doesn't show the 6.2% ABV. That's not showing at all. It's an easy drinker, and I could easily drink a few of these. I have got a few of these, and I could easily drink a few of these. That bitterness is there now. So as soon as that sweet toffee malt goes, and that bread, you get it's like a brown bread. And then you're getting the bitterness just tingling along the side of your tongue. It's not overly bitter. I'd say it's quite well balanced bitterness, because you get the sweetness first, you're getting the breadiness, and then you're getting that bitterness just down the side of the palate on the tongue, which is quite nice. Yeah, let's chat a little bit more. Something I'm going to taste. Carbonation's low, exactly how I'd want it. Now, what would I do? What would I do to improve this? Right, to improve that, I would definitely add some more hops. I would push the bitterness. Like I say, it's balanced, but I just want to push it a little bit more. So I would definitely go a little bit more than bittering hops. And I'd also add more at the flame out, so I'm getting a bit more aroma, and possibly when I have an ESB, I like to have marmalade tastes, and I'm not getting that from this. So that's something I definitely want to improve on. I want to taste like marmalade in the hops, and I'd like to push them East Kent Goldings a little bit more. You're getting the floral, but I want to pull out a bit more of like an orange, sort of citrus from them. I know you can get it from East Kent Goldings, so maybe that would be, first of all, add a bit more bitterness, so a bit more of the bittering, and then secondly, a bit more flame out, because I'd want a bit more of that hop bite to this as well. But apart from that, colour, happy with. Malt tasting, happy with. Just to want a little adjust. I think it's a hops that I'd want to adjust slightly. Carbonation is perfect. The actual conditioning, happy with that. It's an ESB all day, definitely. Colours there. Aroma, toffee, like I say, malty. Carbonation's perfect. I just want a bit more hops. That's how I'd adjust that. A little bit more hops. And like I said just a little bit earlier, I would definitely use a British ale yeast. I use the US-05 because on the day it was just what I had, the dry yeast. I definitely use a British ale yeast and try and get some of them esters during the fermentation just to come through. But apart from that, it's a homebrew. It's on the stovetop. It's done the job. I'm happy with it. Happy with the ABV. What more can I say? Okay, thanks for watching. Cheers, and I'll see you on the next one.